Is that me gold?
What the hell are you?
I'm a leprechaun, me dear.
Writer-director Mark Jones joins us today for an epic conversation to share the full story behind Leprechaun, from creating the iconic character to discovering the amazing Jennifer Aniston. Super excited, guys. Let's do it.
A leprechaun. That's a good one.
Mr. Mark, thank you so much for being here, sir. I really appreciate it. I'm a huge fan, and I know you're a busy guy, so I'll just get right into it. Leprechaun, 1993. How did this whole thing, how did you create this character?
God, the idea was probably 85 or something like that. The Lucky Charms commercials were playing all over. I remember I actually was sitting at El Torito having a drink, and I said, I want to do, the Lucky Charms commercial. I want to make an evil leprechaun. I did some research. And sometimes they're mischievous and they can kill people. So I said, well, they did Halloween, they did Valentine's Day, they did Christmas movies, Santa Claus, but they did Friday the 13th. They haven't done St. Patty's Day. So I remember getting the idea, and then I on the weekends, I basically wrote the script.
You're the writer, director. I mean, was that always the dream from day one?
Actually, when I was in probably 11, 12 years old, my dad had a Yashica camera, 8mm. And it had a stop motion. So I did like clay animation, and then I would take it out and make little movies. So I wanted to make movies. I actually was not like, I got to be a writer. I want to be a filmmaker, and I really want to be a director. I knew horror movies were easier to get made, and they would let less experienced people, because it was usually small, direct-to-video companies. So I thought I had a better chance. I wouldn't be competing with, Tarantino and Spielberg. It's like, it's direct-to-video stuff. At one point, they offered me a real large amount of money for the script if I wouldn't direct. I said no, and they really wanted the script. And it was something that they thought, there was actually Trimark's, they had done a lot of video, and they would buy already made movies and put them on video and VHS in those days. So we made the deal, and I ended up getting less money for writing and directing that I would have gotten if I just sold the script. But I didn't care. I mean, it was still an okay amount of money. But so that's how I became the director.
That's awesome. Warwick Davis, he's an absolute legend. I mean, was he always the first choice? Did you always want an actual person in the role?
Well, we always were going to go with a dwarf, little person. And because I wanted personality, I wanted him to move, and we knew that the way the script was written, you couldn't get a puppet to do that. I liked him instantly. He was absolutely the right choice, and he understood, and total professional. I think he was like 23 years old, young guy. So he was great to work with, and then we had a special effects makeup guy who designed the thing, and that was Gabe Bartolis. And he stayed with Warwick on all his pictures. He was great, and they became good friends. Because, Warwick was in the makeup chair 2.5, 3 hours a day, and another hour to take it off. So it was very grueling, but he was such a trooper, so professional. I loved him.
And regarding casting, I had read that they didn't want Jennifer Aniston. They wanted Christy Swanson, Buffy.
Christy Swanson, yeah. Script went out to her agents, and here's the story. And it came back, passed on the material, which is the standard what agents say when they either didn't want her doing a lower budget movie. They knew Trimark, because she had come off of Buffy, which was a bigger, I think a studio did Buffy. So I don't even think she read the script. I know people who know her. I got to ask that question. I don't even think she read it. So then we went out and read a bunch of girls. And there was another girl who was very good, Megan Ward. I think she did Joe's Apartment, and she did some stuff. They did not want Jennifer. I had to fight like crazy to get Jennifer. It was her first movie. She'd done a couple little TV things, but this was, a movie. She's going to be the lead, basically. They wanted a blonde. That Christy Swanson was a blonde. And for some reason, they wanted this beach blonde stuff. And Jennifer had that beautiful auburn hair, or whatever, brownish. And she walked in, and there was something about her. and she kind of like floated in the room.
And as the director, Mark, I mean, again, I've said this in so many episodes. I mean, the 80s, the 90s, I mean, such a magical time. You know, when you look at Jennifer on screen, you know, even when in the opening, when she's first introduced, that's one of my favorite shots is when her and Ken's character are talking. I mean, they just glow. I mean, male and female, they look amazing. They have such presence. And I feel like that's something that's missing in today's movies. You know, I mean, no, with all respect to everyone, is it the film versus digital? I mean, because it's almost like the magic is gone, the escape is gone. And
well, Chris, I know where you're going, and you're not too far off. I shot pretty much every movie on 35. The film, there's a real picture. You can hold it up and you see a picture. Digital, no matter how good it is, it's, you know, zeros and ones. There is no picture there, and there is sort of a electronic or almost an AI. You know, just like when you can see AI, as good as it is, it's different than a human. So yeah, I think there's a quality. And you know, it's funny you say that, because there was something special about her. I mean, you don't become Jennifer Aniston without having something. It's a magic. You know, when Friends came out, and she got Friends right after Leprechaun the next year, I like to take credit for getting her out there where she had a little bit of, even though she's embarrassed by the movie, but she has a little bit of cachet, and then she got Friends. But when you saw the pilot, I mean, people talk about it, Jennifer stood out. She just looked great on film.
Definitely some magical times, man. I mean, again, everyone looked amazing. And of course, you got Mark Holton, super nice guy, super talented. I mean, he thinks the world of you, and he's the one that inspired me to reach out to you.
Well, it was interesting with Trimark at the time, the same thing with Jennifer Aniston. They wanted me to read for Ozzy. And I said, guys, I got the guy, Mark Holton. I said, first of all, he's in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It's a big movie. I said, he's perfect. Again, the executives, it's like they have to put their 2 cents in, and there were like 7, 8 people. But I won. I mean, it was a battle. So he ended up getting the part. That was an issue. But as far as the crew, the actors, it was a great set. I think people kind of felt that they had something special going on. I look back and going, I took behind the scenes videos of Leprechaun, just a little bit. I had my assistant shoot with the Hi8 camera. If I knew, I would have taken so much more with Jennifer and with everybody in the making of it. In those days, they didn't do it. They didn't have the behind the scenes like they do now. Everybody, you know, with their iPhones. But in those days, you had to bring a camera. So yeah, in retrospect, it was great, and it's very humbling to see the reaction of people. There's a story that I was going to bring up if I can.
Yes, please.
About the famous FU Lucky Charms. The scene where he goes into the kitchen and he grabs a box of Lucky Clovers cereal. We wanted it to basically look like Lucky Charms, but we couldn't use it because it's a brand name. The story is we got permission from General Mills to do Lucky Charms. We shot it. They saw the movie and they didn't like the movie, so they took the permission away and made us reshoot that scene. This is what's the rumor. And I was so mad that at the end of the movie, when Alex with the slingshot goes to shoot the Leprechaun, and it was supposed to be your luck has run out, and instead I whispered to him and told him, say F you Lucky Charms. That's the rumor. It's 1000% completely untrue. And I don't know why. The original script from 1988 had that line at the end, because the whole thing was Lucky Charms. I knew that's why I wanted to do. It was always in the script. So I don't know how that rumor got around, but anyway, I've tried to dispel that myth once or twice, but.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
Well, all I knew was that it was an epic line, so I'm glad that you stuck to your guns and you kept the line. And I mean, it's epic, man. It's iconic. And again, just the fact that you created this thing, you wrote it, you directed it. You are a true legend, artist, and inspiration. Thank you so much for all that you do. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here, and super congrats on all your incredible work, talent, and success. Congrats to the entire cast. Guys, thank you so much for watching Leprechaun 1993. Rewatch it, enjoy it. Thank you for watching, thank you for believing, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.